Listen, it's good for the kids. It's good, assuming the school boards go along with this. It's good that these policies are changing, I guess, to many parents. But should it raise some eyebrows, given that everybody suddenly did it in a 72-hour window?
Well, look, the states that are doing it are states where prevalence is declining. If you look at New York City, the tri-state region, if you look at Boston, if you look at the mid-Atlantic, Florida, cases are almost back down to where they were before even the Delta wave in the fall. If you look at the leading indicators in Boston and New York City, for example, which is sewage wastewater, which is a pretty good predictor of the trends of infection in those cities, it's way down to baseline. So I think that these cities can lean forward. Cases aren't all the way down. Measurable cases in hospitals aren't all the way down, but they can start to lean forward now more safely.
Cases, and I hear your point, and I publish this data online every week as well. The case data I know by heart, doctor, but cases are still above where they were when the kids went to school in the fall. I mean, that I think is what raises eyebrows. My son went to school in early September. Cases were way lower than they are now, and yet so now they could say, well, cases have come down, but you can look and say that on an absolute basis, they're still higher in many states than they were when the kids went back to school. Is this the governors saying that the pandemic has run its ultimate course?
Well, this wave has run its course. There's probably nothing that's going to change the trajectory that they're measuring. If people unmask a little early and they start to take more risks, they socialize more, perhaps cases won't continue to decline as rapidly as they've been declining, but they're going to continue to come down. And when you look at the tri-state region, for example, cases are pretty low right now. You look at the data coming out of the schools, how many cases they're turning over on a day-over-day basis, and it's pretty much back to the baseline it was before the big Omicron surge. So there are parts of the country where it's way down. Hospitalizations are still up. They're a lagging indicator. It takes a while for people to be discharged from the hospital. But I think the trajectory is very clear. And there's now data out of South Africa as well where they have B2. B2, which is this new Omicron variant, has overtaken B1 in South Africa. It's now 100% of all the cases. But they continue to see cases come down even with that new variant. So while that new variant spread, it didn't change the overall trajectory. And that seems to be the experience here, too. B2 is gaining very slowly in prevalence, but it's not changing the overall trajectory, which is a rapidly downward trajectory. So I don't think it's imprudent that governors lean forward, anticipating that conditions are going to continue to improve, recognizing that people are afraid, people have been doing this for a long time, and we have a narrow window of opportunity to restore some sense of normalcy to the schools. They want to seize that opportunity.